Great. So welcome to this Follow the Camino presentation. I'm going to talk to you about walking and cycling the Camino de Santiago. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm really excited. It's been fairly quiet for the past while for us. So having so many people who are looking forward to travel, and yeah, I'm sharing your excitement, and I hope you're sharing mine. So what we're going to touch base today is walking, cycling. For those who want to, so sound is not great. Is everybody okay for sound? I was testing it 10 minutes ago. It seemed okay. So I hope it's okay for most of you.
Yeah, fine here.
Thank you. So maybe Julie, check on your side. So take it, people, guys, that it is your time, okay? I would like you to get as much from this session as possible. I will go through who we are. First of all, follow the Camino. Then, what is the Camino in general? I like to go through that because some of we may have different levels of knowledge, and I think it's always interesting to come back to some basics because the Camino is really interesting on that part. And then I'll touch base on some routes, and I'm using the questions in the chat to focus more on various routes. So if at some stage you have a question for yourself, please ask there, and I will try to answer it. If I don't have to answer your questions during the session, anyway, after the session, we will email you and we'll give you our contact details, and you can have a one-on-one with one of our brilliant Camino consultants that will be able to answer more specific queries, I suppose. I will go through some advice, trainings, what to pack. Okay, again, it's going to be general, but it will give you a good gist of what you're getting ready for, and then some of the changes with COVID and which are getting things are getting much better, thankfully, and all of these things. So, Follow the Camino is a company of One Foot Abroad, which was set up in 2006. I set that business up. Then we're based in Dublin, Ireland, and I think most of you might be from the States. If you want to chat me where you're from, that would be great. But I've seen some people from India, or some people from the States, so it is great. Being in Dublin is great for us because we're on a great time channel with Spain, and we have great flight connection. So we're very often on the ground and in many places. We have a multilingual team. We're all working from home at the moment, and we organize more than 15,000 kilometers of walking and cycling holidays. Yes, we do. Okay, so we have clients all around the world with very satisfied person. We like to see our clients as our friends. What I mean by that is that we like to see, what do you want to get out of your trip? Are you looking for more of the adventure, the quiet, the luxury, whatever? And we'll try to tailor the itinerary and the product as much as we can to satisfy that. That's what we like doing. So our services is the route discovery. So we'll usually discuss with our clients, say, do you want to do something classic, 20, 25 kilometers every day, or do you want to longer stages? Some people are a bit fitter or want a bit more of a challenge, or do you want something a bit more relaxed and maybe 10, 15 kilometers a day? For us, there is no bad answer. They're all your wishes, and we'll make them happen as much as possible. We cater for various hotel selection. Most of our packages are on 3-star accommodation, 2-3-star accommodation. We call these comfort packages. This is what most people want, whereby you have a good level of accommodation, private bathroom, a good restaurant in the evening to get you replenished before the next day walk. But we can also go on more budget type of things, or upgrades as well. We have some people from Israel and from Croatia. Welcome, guys. Great to have you here. We also organize the luggage transfer. 99% of our customers take it, and if you want to remove that, this is an option we can take out as well. And we provide you on every of our holiday with a holiday pack. That holiday pack contains the walking notes, the maps to complete the walk or the cycle, as well as your pilgrim passport and a scallop shell and your luggage tag. All these are sent by post, and most of the things these things are sent by post, but we also send you some through our customer panel. You have access to other soft copies of some documents. And support as well, before, during, and after the trip. Support is in planning. Okay, planning a trip like this. Some of you want to travel for 30 days, you know, the full French way or more. So that requires a bit of planning, definitely. Choosing the right accommodation, the right itinerary, but also during the trip, you know, we have the odd call because we're looking for the accommodation or something like this, or we forgot something at the previous hotel, for example. These are the things we look after for you, and so on. So, from what I heard from your little comments, guys, most of you have not done the Camino, but we have a couple of people who've done the Northern Way, the French way, and so on. So I will just go through some of these things. So the Camino today is composed of 9 main routes. Okay, the yellow is the French way, which starts in a village called Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. It's the town of the start of the Moving the Way with Martin Sheen, for example. So it is the most famous with over 60% of the pilgrims using the French way. Most people walk the Camino, and a smaller portion, less than 10%, would cycle it. And over half of the people walking the Camino are over 30. So these are just some of the statistics that are recorded by the pilgrim office in Santiago on arrival. The Camino Português, which is here on the dark blue on your map, would be the second most popular. And usually people do the French one and then the Camino Português after, but it doesn't matter. You can do whatever way you want. It's all good. So, in order to do the Camino, you're going to walk 100 kilometers in order to have your pilgrim certificate. You don't have to, it's just something that people have in mind to have. So 100 kilometers is usually 5 walking days. You need to have a reasonable amount of fitness to enjoy. What I would say is, it's like everything. The fitter you are, the less the struggle it is while you're there, and therefore the more you can enjoy it. It is very important. And we need to tailor the distance to your fitness as well. Although from my experience, I've guided many groups. I've traveled with many people as well. I don't know anybody who hasn't been able to do it. Once maybe I had an unfit, more elderly person, 76, who had to be taxied a couple of days, but it didn't matter because he was still pushing all of the effort and the same effort, if no more, than the other people. But other than that, I have walked with a lady who had a 3 heart bypass, and she was walking slowly, but she was walking. So what you have to understand with regards to fitness, that it's not a race. It's your trip, it's your journey. So either we can adjust on the length of the stages, making them shorter, or it can take a bit longer to complete. But it's a very sociable way to travel, where many people are going, everybody's going in the same direction. You meet people day after day, and so on. So walking is usually 100 kilometers minimum, and that's what you will have. Who is thinking about cycling? I haven't seen many people cycling. I know that one of you has cycled. So Adele is asking about the average number of hours per day. Usually we're talking about 20-25 kilometers, which means 4 to 5 hours. Okay. On average, a walker is at 4 kilometers per hour. Somebody on the slower side at 3, somebody on the faster side at 5, maybe 6. It's something like this. So have in mind 4 or 5 hours a day. Some days 6 hours, some days shorter. So cycling, if I'll go quicker unless there is somebody interested in cycling. Cycling is a bit less sociable in the sense that you cannot cycle side by side with your friends. So while you are pushing on the bike, obviously you're more into your effort than walking. In order to complete the pilgrimage cycling, you need to complete 200 kilometers to get your pilgrim certificate. So it's double the distance of walking. Sandra wants to cycle and she wants to know it all. All right, so 200 kilometers. Usually the stages on cycling are double those of walking. So we're talking about 40 to 60 kilometers, something like that. Knowing that some of the difficulty is also greater on the uphill, and there are a couple of places with some relatively big uphills. What I would say is I've both cycled and walked great part of the Camino. Cycling is something that you actually want to go on the cycling holidays. For those of you that are thinking of cycling in order to see more in less time, if you do not cycle regularly, I would not recommend to do that. Okay, it is if you don't cycle every day, being 4 or 5 hours on a bicycle every day, if it's not your thing, don't commit to it for 5 days. All right, it's I would do a weekend away at home already to see that. How many kilometers a day do we walk? That takes for it's 20 to 25 kilometers per day. All right, on average. I will show you some detailed trips anyway. So that's the thing on cycling. So walking is more sociable. Take your time. Cycling is a bit less sociable. You cover more ground. Okay, if you like cycling, it is brilliant. The Camino is very beautiful, and you have a bit more freedom if you want to detour here and there. Okay. Whereas when you're walking, an extra 2 kilometers walking, it's an extra half an hour, which is a bit more tiring than cycling. So this is a bit repeating what I was saying. Like the cycling, it's good for you if you are a regular user, if you are a regular cyclist. If you're not, less so. All right. So when you're walking, here are some of the most popular trips you can do. Oops. If you want to walk 1 week into Santiago, Sandra will get back to you on the Norte in a second. If you want to walk 100 kilometers into Santiago, so okay, here is how you have to think about planning your trip. How long do I want to go for? 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month? And do I want to reach Santiago? If I want to go for 1 week and reach Santiago, in that week, I need to start a week away from Santiago. If I want to go for longer, I start further away. And these are some of the most popular routes. The French way from Sarria to Santiago, which some of you might be interested of. Then the Camino Portugues to Santiago. This is the blue number 5. So the Frances Sarria to Santiago is the 8 yellow, okay, going from east to west into Santiago. This is very popular. It is great fun. You will meet people. You will have people at bars all the time. It can be overcrowded in May and September. The Camino Portugues is a bit less crowded and still you have people. So it's a good mix, I suppose, the Tui to Santiago route or the Portuguese coastal way from the purple route on the map. The Primitivo is quieter, the green route, the original way, going from Oviedo to Santiago. And then there is the English way, is quieter as well, the red one going north to south. The Finisterre way is actually going outwards to the end of the world. And the Via de Plata, the pink one, is less travel as well. So on the French way, the Portuguese way, Portuguese coastal way, you will meet a good few people. On the other routes, it will be quieter. You might have a few hours without seeing many people. Just to come back on some of the cyclists, there is some, if you are following, the guidebook will give you a good route, but you can follow the walking track, although cycling on the walking tracks a few times a day, not many, but a few times. You may have to get off the bike to pass a small stone bridge and so on. It does happen on the Camino. If you're sticking to the walking track, which makes the walking track nicer because it is a bit rougher, some tracks, some forest tracks, and the odd stone bridge. How do we know when the Botafumero will ring at the church? I will go on to the Botafumero later, but the Botafumero doesn't ring, it swings. The Botafumero is not a bell, it's the big ensign thing going across the church, the Cathedral of Santiago, and they actually don't tell us what is going on, okay? And James, do you know why they don't tell us? Because they don't want people to go to Mass only for the Botafumero. You have to go to Mass for Mass, not for the nice thing at it. So that's what we're trying to get information from the cathedral, but this is what we are fed back with. Yeah. So Sandra, if you're cycling, yeah, there are some places where you need to avoid walkers and you need to be careful, okay? Walkers have priority on cyclists in the sense that cyclists have to slow down sometimes. And with regards to the Camino Norte, better for cyclists, we can have a conversation of this where we can compare routes, because it's hard to say there is a better or not. It's not really like that. So here I'm just going to present to you the French way, Sarriá to Santiago. So it's 5 or 6 walking days. And as I said to you, between 20 and 25 kilometers. The distances are never that spot on just because of the distances between towns and villages, right? And you see, between Palas and Arzúa, in the middle, there is a long stage of 29 kilometers. That stage can be split in 2, for example. So 29 kilometers is a good 6 or 7 hours of walk, which is a very long day. If you start at 9 a.m., you'll be at your hotel by 4, 5-ish after breaks and so on. So we have the option to split that, for example. This is something we can go through with you with one of our agents. And let's and if you go on our website, all these information are there, the daily description of the routes. And we have this for every single route. So to answer the question like Sandra, what is better with the Northern way or the French way? I think it's good as well to look for, you can talk to us and we'll happily go through this with you, but you can also compare on our website where we describe day by day. And you can even see the daily ascent and descent, okay? This is extremely useful just to get your head around and just mind the graphs where this looks like Mount Everest, but look, we're only talking about a climb of 300 meters over 8 kilometers. So 300 meters is probably nothing more than your local hills around home. It is not a mountain, but just the way we are shrinking 100 kilometers into a little image, looks like this. So you can look at this on our website as well. So this is Sarriá to Santiago, for example, just to show you. So on the first day, you've got to climb for an hour, then it's flattish, and then it goes down to the village of Porto Marín, and the next day you've got another climb of 300 meters, so that's an hour and a half uphill, reaching the high point of that day, and then you're going downhill. Now, this graph is of Galicia, next to Santiago, and all of the routes, 100 kilometers around Santiago, are roughly the same. Galicia is a hilly area of Spain, so this way you always have the treacherous little climb, you know, middle of the day, oh, again, but it's never too bad. So I'll move on from the French way, Sarriá to Santiago. I'll go to the next. Here, I'm just going to go through the full French way. I think some of you are planning on doing the full French way. So just to describe to you the full French way, you have it there. So the full French way, we do it in 35 days, okay? It can be shortened because some of the stages are shorter. Obviously, given the number of stages in that space, it is a bit cumbersome, but the stages are between 17 kilometers and 28, all right? And same thing on any of the places, if we can offer a split, we can do that. And same thing, if you want to do 34 kilometers in one day, we can merge. All that you see with one of our great Camino experts that will help you going through that. Anyway, this is tell you about the French way. So the first day from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port to Roncesvalles is tough. We are talking about 1,300 meters ascent. Now, tough doesn't mean impossible. It is just a long day with quite an uphill. It is a 10% uphill for the first 5-6 hours, okay? And then you're going down to the village. So that's just something to have in mind. And then you've got another big climb near Ocebrero near Galicia, which is almost 1,000 meters. So you've got these two, and then it winds down. This is Sarria to Santiago, this area there. So if we just check, so on the French way, you're talking about mountainous area in the first 3-4 days, then plains, hilly plains. Then you get onto the Plateau de la Meseta, which is rather flat. So you see this whole middle bit from León to, from Logroño to a bit after León until you reach the Ocebrero Mountains here with a bit more climbs, and then you're in Galicia where it is hilly. So that's the French way. Some of these are greener. So when you are walking these 30 days, you come through vineyards, fields. When you get to Galicia, it's more forest and eucalyptus trees, so a great range of landscapes. I'm just going to read message. Galicia is also very wet. It rains a lot because it's close to the coast. That's why the route from yeah. So yeah, I will show you some tips on the weather as well. We have a map where you can get the weather. Yeah. So if you only have half the time for the French way, if you're talking about half the time for the full route, that means 2 weeks-ish. What I would say is, again, talk to us. One thing to be aware as well is that once you reach Santiago, I would recommend, for example, to spend an extra night. If you walk 30 days or 6 days into Santiago, Santiago is a brilliant city. It's a UNESCO heritage city. So if you arrive at 4 o'clock and you're checking out of your hotel at 9 a.m. the next day to fly back home, I think it's a bit short. You might want to earn an extra night. So, and same thing if you're walking the full French way, we would recommend taking a few extra days for rest here and there. And we can go through that with you on the phone or by email afterwards. And we'll tell you where that is. Anyway, if you're going for a 2 weeks period, something like Ponferrada, which is around here, Santiago, or León to Santiago, something like this, would be recommended. But the French way is a brilliant route. You're going through marvelous cities, brilliant. Yeah. So Tom, if you go to Camino routes at the top of our website and you choose Northern Way, it will be the Camino del Norte. We call it a Northern Way, for example, and you will have the different sections there. And after the Northern Way, it merges with the original way. The Northern Way stops in Oviedo, and then it merges with the original way. So this is the Camino Portugués from Tui to Santiago. It is quite a similar itinerary than the Sarria to Santiago, landscape-wise and the towns-wise. There's no major change. Our routes are usually starting in a big city. What I mean by big is a city with a connection to an international airport and ending in big cities, just to make it easier for you guys. This is why they're not all, strictly speaking, 8 days, 7 nights. Some of these villages along the way are rather small, a few hundred inhabitants, which may not have a connection to an international airport. So that's why we're doing it like this. So cycling, this is how we've divided the cycling. As I was saying to you earlier, we've mixed the stages between 40 and 70 kilometers. 70 kilometers would be on a flatter bit, and 40, as soon as it is hilly with a bit of climb, would stick to the 40, 50 kilometers. Just to have, we're trying to have 4 or 5 hours of cycle every day. Knowing that when you're doing such a trip, it is not a race, okay? Well, it means that you're going to stop to take pictures, you're going to stop to take it easy, to take it in. You're not going onto a challenge, you're not going onto a race. It is your trip, it is your Camino, and so going as fast as you can or doing as much ground covering as you can, I don't think it's the best way to do the Camino, for example. We regularly recommend people to do less than more. If somebody asks us to do more than 30 kilometers walking a day, I wouldn't recommend that. We can organize it and we will if we really want to. But for us, from 28, 30 kilometers, you're at 6-7 hours on your feet outside of breaks all day. It's getting long, you know. On the Camino Portugués, can the last map there? Yes, Susan, but this is where you need to talk to an expert and to us. Mathematics and the Caminos, they work well together sometimes, but not so much some other times. I'm going to tell you why, Susan. Because if you're walking your 5-6 days into Santiago, and we get you to stop after 18 kilometers, 10 kilometers away from Santiago, it will be 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I can tell you that you'll be grumpy because you will be only 2.5 hours away from Santiago. So again, it's all with you. We all see that with you, but we tell you the pros and cons of doing this and that. Usually we feel that on the last day, people are more chop. I can tell you that when I have a group, by the last day, they know their body better. They know that it hurts a bit, that it is a bit tiring that day. So we like to get done and dusted with the day. So usually if you have another 2 hours to go, you will do it. So usually what happens on that Portuguese last day, for example, is that instead of starting at 8, 9, you might start at 7, 8. So that you will arrive at your hotel for 4 o'clock. That's usually when I'm with a group, that's the type of thing we have. If you're not with a group, it's faster. When it's a couple or 4 friends, things are usually a bit faster because there are less breaks and so on. So I hope I answered your question, Susan. We can split it, but we don't recommend, and I've told you why. But if you want to split, that's absolutely no problem. This is the Portuguese coastal way, marvelous things going south to north, along the coast all day long. Brilliant sight, but it is quiet. And one thing to notice as well, to be aware, is that on the coast, it can get tiring because of the wind. Okay, you've got the Atlantic Ocean nearby, and I've done it myself. It is just something to be aware of. If you're expecting just the quiet breeze all along, after 5-6 hours, you're happy to be finished for that day. I'm going to get on to training and packing, if that's okay. I can go back to some of the questions, and if I haven't answered your question, or if you want to see something more specific, just let me know, and I will surely get onto it. So training-wise, we have some marathon runner. Let me see. What I said to people, I've designed this training program, guys. I've designed it in a way that you need to understand that you don't have to. If you're training for a marathon, that's some constraints. You want to run all the way through 42 kilometers. You cannot make it. It is possible. Walking 20 kilometers, you cannot not make it unless you've got a medical condition. Everybody is able to walk at their own pace. So the training, again, it's more to prepare yourself and to be more comfortable there than not. Also, it is because most people have not walked more than a day, 2 in a row, because of our working life and so on. And walking for 5 days in a row is an experience of its own, just because tiredness builds up in the calves, in the body, and so on. And for those of you who are thinking about doing the full French, same thing. It is a specific effort, and you need to get your body customized as much as you can. So this training program, which will email you in the next couple of days, is more tell you do something. And again, same thing. Should you walk? Should you cycle? Should you go to the gym? It doesn't really matter. Doing something is better than doing nothing. So if you can walk, great. Half an hour a day at first, an hour a day at first, and build it up. If right away you can walk physically and time-wise 2 hours a day, go for it. And try always at the weekend, on the Saturday, the Sunday, just to sneak in a longer walk, 4, 5, 6 hours, and build up. And same thing with the terrain. If you only do half an hour of walk once a week on the flat from home to the train station, it is not great preparation. Now, you're still able to walk the Camino, but when you will see that hill, you will feel that hill on that day. Whereas, if you've trained before on this similar type of terrain, you'll be ready. One thing which is important to understand, guys, is that walking 5 days in a row or 30 days in a row is tiring physically, but a lot of walking is mental as well. Is I have to go again tomorrow, and tomorrow, you know what? It might be hot, it might be wet, you might have a blister. So all of these things that the more you know yourself beforehand, the more enjoyable the trip will be. So that you know the signs. Look, I need to give a miss. A lot of people fail the Camino because they start too fast, for example. They don't plan ahead. They do 6 hours. Oh yeah, I'm still okay. I'm still okay. I can do 30 kilometers instead of 25. Yes, you can. But the question is for how long? They'll do it once, twice, and then they'll get a tendinite or blisters. And it might ruin their trip. And very experienced walkers would have gone through that, including me. You know, my first Camino was with massive hiking boots. I got a tendinite after 7 days, and I had to go to the physio. And so, experience, build it up now, rather than on the spot. It will be more enjoyable. Yeah, on the restoration work of the cathedral, I had a chat with the person responsible for that a few months ago, and it was still ongoing. I think the main part is complete, but because it's such a big task, I'd say it will take until the end of this year to really complete it. But it's massive, and now that they've had the budget. Like the Cathedral of Santiago has been built over and over again, where at first it was a smaller church, and then they've added on. So there are different layers to it, inside and outside. And the outside was finished last year for sure. All the scaffolding, I think, were done, but they had worked inside as well, and that might have taken delays actually with COVID because workers couldn't work in and stuff. Parking wise. Okay, so again, we're going to send that to you afterwards. If you get a package with us, you can bring one piece of luggage of 15 kilos per person, well, 20. Just mind that the more is not necessarily the better, okay? Because when you have when you are walking the Camino or cycling, you have to unpack and pack every day. So I'm not sure you want to unpack and pack as much as you can every day. So here's a list, whether you've got the luggage transfer or not, of what to bring. So a pair of shoes, a pair of runners, sandals, and so on. So just have a look at that. The only difference between the luggage transfer and the self-carry really is the number of items. Okay, who wants to have the luggage transfer? Or who doesn't want to? Yes, no, luggage transfer. And Glenda, I will respond to your question on traveling on your own. Yeah. Yeah, transfer. Sarah, maybe. Okay. So, most of you will have the luggage transfer. So, if you're carrying your bag, you go at 10% of your body weight max, or a bit more if you're very light, but you're talking about 7 kilograms, something like this. Don't go over that. You might feel at home in your living room, in your slippers that you can carry 10, and you can, but it gets tired. Each kilo on the shoulders is heavier by the day. If you want your luggage to be carried, we will organize that for you. And it just makes the trip lighter. During the day, you only have a day pack, which is a 5 or 10 liters bag with your bottle of water, a rain jacket, and a pair of fleece, for example, sun cream. That's all. The rest is not there. If you're carrying your stuff, you need to wash. Okay, if you're going for 30 days, you need to wash regularly and so on. That's okay. If you're not carrying stuff, you might need to wash as well, depending if you're going for 2 weeks. I suppose you'll have to wash. Either you can do that by hand, or we tell you which accommodation on our once it's confirmed has laundry. But half of the accommodation have laundry services. So it's not a big issue. But we tell you in advance so that you can plan. Just a few things on packing. we try to avoid cotton. Cotton is not great for moist because it keeps the moist near the body and it takes the heat away from your body, so it's not great. I would recommend synthetic clothes, a bit like what I'm wearing today. So synthetic stuff are usually better for that. Okay, no jeans. Yeah, I'll go to that. No jeans and so on. And this is why the training comes handy, because you're going to train. You're going to see if you're chafing in your hiking trousers, if maybe you need some cycling shorts, and so on. One thing I said for the ladies, you're very lucky you can put these leggings things, so they're great. Ladies like them. I would say it's for the gentlemen. Don't try the cycling shorts on their own. Put some shorts on top. It usually looks better for everybody. So for socks, same thing. Well, no cotton. I would go for merino wool or synthetic, or a mix of merino wool or synthetic. Merino wool is brilliant because it takes the moist away from the skin and it doesn't smell so naturally. And synthetic socks have also the same properties. With regards to double layer socks, 1,000-mile socks, I would say buy a couple of pairs and see for yourself. I've had blisters with double layer socks. I've had no blisters with cotton socks, so it really depends. However, to answer Sheila, just check the time of the year you're going. Do not go with your big boots in July, August. Your feet are just going to bake. So that's blister guaranteed. If it is warm when you go there, maybe you want to buy some of these hiking sandals, that are very sturdy and so on. Obviously, I'm not going to show you a kit right here, but just mind that the support of the shoe, we believe it's in the boot, in the height, but most of the support is actually on the sole of it. When you're walking, it's all of these stones, these rocks, this deformation of the ground, and the softer your shoe, such as sneakers, flip-flops, the more your feet has it all at every step. Whereas if you've got a firmer sole, which a lot of trekking shoes have, it's more appropriate. They don't have to be high to be great support. Okay, and we have some of these on our blog. If you go to blog shoes, followthecamino.com/blog, and you search for shoes, we'll have a full review on these. And Susan is backing me up. Merino wool is the way to go. So cool. What's the best season of time to plan to do it? The best time to plan, Sandra, is now. You've taken your first step, and that's great. Well done. Going there, it depends on people. I know that we deal with a lot with Americans or Irish/British citizens, and for an Irish or British person, 20 degrees, 25 degrees is warm or hot. For some of you guys from the States, in Texas and so on, 20, 25 degrees is not hot. So, we all have a different approach to temperature. For me, I prefer the 25 plus. For some people, they prefer the 15 degrees to plus. So let me just have a look. And do fire away with questions. So if you go to followthecamino.com /Camino-weather-map, you've got this map. And here, somebody gave us some green scribbles, which are beautiful. Thank you very much for that. Here, we just give you the averages for each month and each area. Again, just have a thing. It depends if you're doing the full French way and so on. And here we'll give you the mean, max, and average number of rainy days. Okay? But if you go to June, July, some parts of the south of Spain are hot. Okay? Some of these middle parts of the Plateau and Meseta on the French way are hot. Okay? And someone was saying that Galicia is wet. Yes, it is wet because it's near the ocean. but it's still okay. Like you have the few drizzles. So as you go into October through February, Galicia is wet for sure. Before that, after that, it's usually okay. So the most popular month for people to travel, to have not too hot, not too cold, are May and September. Mind that they're also the busier months for booking accommodation and so on. And just because of the fact that this year and now it has been pushed to next year, it's a holiday on the Camino with access to the holiday. It makes that it is more popular. So we have some allocations, so we have some rooms, and we can accommodate many people. So do inquire with us, and we'll find your rooms. But otherwise, it will be busy in this month and other months. What I say to people is, if you can only travel in June, or only in July, or only in October, whatever, it shouldn't be a reason not to go. All right. Instead, you have to equip yourself differently. Do not let that you cannot travel in the best time as a meaning that you will travel at a bad time. It is not like this. You will have a good time. Maybe if you travel in October, you'll have your jacket more often. And if you're in June, you'll be in flip-flops more often, or in sandals more often. So it's just very important to do not let small things like this, if you don't have the choice, not make you travel. Okay, you travel differently, you equip yourself differently. Okay, just now I'm nearly finished on that. I'm just going to go through. So accommodations have been closed, and some of them are still closed, although they are reopening. Spain as a country is a bit like in the States, actually, where each region has some autonomy. So while the country may have such and such rules, sometimes the country does not give rules, but leaves each autonomous region the power and the say in some of these things. So, but the Camino is open from now. It's been open for a couple of months, although there was only Spanish people. But Spain is reopening, trying to welcome people from very soon, from now, from next month. And the issue at the moment is also the fact that there is no global decision. There seems to be some bilateral agreements between for example, at the moment, the UK and Portugal. There is no issue traveling, and these change quite regularly. So we have some updates on the website on that. Or check in your country, just put US citizen, can I travel to Spain, COVID, and you will see what we believe. Who is planning to travel for this year, or 2021, 2022? Can you let me know in the chat, please? So, look, guys, if it's 2022, should I hope, or should I guarantee you that things are going to be open? Look, this year, August, September, we still believe we're going to be able to travel. Okay, we have clients. We have a client who started this Camino yesterday, on Saturday, for example. So the issue is that you, same as us, you travelers as well as us operators, who are looking for clear guidance. As you know, clear guidance and the current situation don't really match. So 2022, I would say there would be no problem because we should all have been vaccinated. Okay, for 2021, I would say from August, September, I wouldn't see any problem. I would say that most of you, if you're looking at traveling, you're looking at you have had your vaccination, or you may have a date. So yeah, and I need to get back to that. Traveling on is it safe to travel on its own? I would say, which route are you trying to do? So there is no safety issue on the Camino. What I would say is just to use common sense. Like we have single travelers, single ladies, single women traveling, and they don't have issues. Some recommendations we have is Don't share your accommodations names with people you don't want to, and so on. But other than that, usually what happens on the Camino is, because the stage, everybody does roughly the 20-25 kilometers. And on the first day, you spot a guy with a big backpack, and you've heard this accent from the woman from Australia, and you start to mingle with people and say, "Oh yeah, how you doing? Oh yeah, my friend is from this region." So you start to spot a couple of people. Day 2, 3, you create your own community. If you're traveling on your own, I doubt you will be walking on your own all day for 5 days. Impossible. And if you're afraid to do so, we have some guided tools. We call them Make Friends for Life. And we have some videos on YouTube from our guides, from our travelers. They love it. There are groups of maximum 14 people, and there are groups, but we're all grown-ups. So the guide, it could be me, but we have Fran or Sylvia, who are great, they're amazing, who travel. We organize that, but at your own pace, and we'll give you the level of support you need. What I mean by that is, for some people, they are slower and they say, no, leave me alone, I'm fine, and that's okay. So we just gauge within 1 day or 2 days how people are, and then we give whatever support. And usually, if you're slower, the only thing you're missing out is a couple of glasses of wine at the arrival. You have less time for that, but you still have a great time. Is it safe to walk by myself, Camino Inglés? Yeah, Camino Inglés is okay. It is quiet. You're on the trail. You've got network coverage all the time. It is safe. It is safe. There's no issue with that. We have a video with John Brawley. I interviewed him. That video wasn't an interview from me, but he's of the same opinion. There is no issue at all. What about France? Yes. Yeah, okay. René is flying to Pamplona, and going to France. Yeah, okay. If you're starting in Saint-Jean, in any case, you will be in France only for the first 5 hours. After the first day, you will move into Spain. So it's called the French way, actually, because it was described by a French monk in the Codex Calixtinus, but it's mostly in Spain. 99% of the French way is actually in Spain. So that's that. Okay. Any more question? And I'll move on to these. So if you book for this year and for some reason you cannot travel, we will change your trip free of charge. All right. So just so that you know, we've had to cancel, as you know, as you can guess, 99% of our holidays last year were cancelled. Dramatic, guys. But thankfully, all of our customers that are sticking with us, and they're just postponing 1 year or 2 years now. But we are rebooking them for whenever they like. Okay, if they want to change a bit, obviously the extras or whatever will be applied. But other than that, if it's just date change, there is no issue with that. What we do is now we let everybody sort out their country-specific guidelines, because they change too often. I live in Ireland. I don't know if I can go on holiday to France this summer, so it's a bit too complex. But if there is any issue, we can change the date, no problem. So we are the most flexible Camino tour operator. Guys, I run this business for 14 years. For me, I like to treat people the same way I would like to be treated. So it's usually quite straightforward. Try to be easy and understandable. It has to be win-win. So we're not here to it's just to be reasonable. So you can change the date of your trip for any reason, no problem at all. I think it's up to a week or two before departure. And every itinerary is personalized. Yeah, and we are here, guys. So once you deal with one of our sales agents, they are amazing. You only deal with one person. So it's brilliant. You always have the same person on the phone or by email, unless the person is on holiday, whereby somebody else would pick up. Some things to get excited about is that the Pope has extended the Holy Year to 2022. The Holy Year is when the Holy Year door of the cathedral is open at the back of the cathedral. And there can be some big queues, okay? So that's just something to be aware of. At the time, one of you traveled in 1997. I don't think there was many people back then. I don't know if it was a holy year, but I've been there in 2010, last holy year, and there was no problem coming in. Now the queues are getting a bit bigger. So check travel restrictions and get ready for it. Take a traveler insurance as well, okay? Just mind that we are the operator, so we do our best, but we're no magicians, okay? We're only doing our best dealing with everybody. Having a good travel insurance is very important for your for yourself. So we recommend you to start planning now. Very important to start getting accommodation. Yeah. So Patricia, we do not include flights because our clients come from anywhere around the world, and because flights are cheaper online, and we don't know if you want to travel on Tuesday and so on. Like they're complex, so we let you deal with the flights. We only deal once you arrive in your destination with a walking package, and if you want an airport transfer as well, that's additional. On the Camino, you can pay by both cards and cash, although in Spain, in some more remote area, you still want to have 10 or 20 euros cash in your pocket. Now with COVID, the number of contactless transactions has boomed, okay? Everybody has updated, but historically, cash was good as well. How much would the budget for heist? So Eva, how much would it be to completely, yeah. I'm not sure about the question, Eva. If you can clarify, that would be great. You have been wonderful, flexible for my group. We have changed date, no issues. Kaoru, yeah, thank you very much. Water safe iPhone 2, Gary. Yeah, water usually there are not many public water points. There are some, but not many. Is there one a day? I don't think so. One every 2 days? Yes. So, and in the past 20 years, they have marked a lot of water fountain as non-drinkable. So those that you can, they're obvious, but I don't see many. I see one on the Portuguese way, for example, from Camino de Santiago, on the last 100 kilometers of the French way. I'm not sure I see any. Okay, but when you buy food or drinks in shops, it's 150 for a big bottle of water. Like, it's really cheap. So that's that. So why choose us? Because we're amazing, aren't we, guys? I'm coming to the end of the presentation. I hope I've answered most of your questions. If I haven't, we're here for another 5 minutes. Please fire away, and I will try to respond to these. Now, I hope this was interesting. We would really like to help you plan your Camino, and we would really like to make it a unique experience. We are good at it, okay? We love doing it. That's what we do all day long, walking, cycling, whatever. So Sandra, just send what we're going to do is that you can email info@followthecamino.com with your contact details, or if you have a product on the website which you seem to like, the Northern way or the French way, even if it's not for definite, just put your contact details and say, hi, I was on the chat with Umberto earlier on. I want to inquire about this. Can you call me and give us a preferred time if you want? Whatever information you give us, we'll try to match it as much as possible. Hearing room issues that you mentioned. Should I rebook my August start date now? Robert, I'm not sure about the room issues. There are no room issues. There might be some travel issues, although I don't know. I think from August we should be able to travel. I would say, Robert, if you have, I'm not sure exactly what your query is, but speak to your Camino consultant, and I'm sure she'll be able to help you with that. Sarah, you're a long-term planner. That's great. Any more questions, guys? Any more comments? Did I answer? Are we still going on the Camino? I want to go this September. I'm thinking about going this September. I'm waiting for a bit of clarity. How many people have we got left? Yeah. So I can't decide between French and Portuguese. So, Tresha, what I would say when you don't know what to decide is look at the pictures. I don't know if you're traveling with friends, but try to have something that catch your eye. It's a bit like when you are in the restaurant. I'm not sure I'm going to get carbonara pasta or this pizza there. And it's hard for me to help you decide. So what I would say is try to find something else that will help you decide. Um, there is the Portuguese way is a bit quieter. Um, the Portuguese way or the French way, there is no one more beautiful than the other. There is no one which is more compelling than the other. They are similar in atmosphere. Yeah, bathroom infos. What I would say is, yeah, carry some tissue. The closer you are from Santiago, the more regular you have stops to go to the loo. Okay, if you are in the last 100 kilometers, on the French way, every 5 kilometers you have to stop, so you shouldn't have any issue. Same on the Portuguese way. If you are farther away, maybe you'll have 10 kilometers without the toilet. In any case, in the maps we provide you, it shows you the stops for toilets or cafes. If there's a cafe, there's a toilet. If otherwise, you might have to use nature as your toilet. But try to look at your map just to see where are your breakpoints, and if you have a toilet and you want to go. Yeah. Thank you, Suzanne. Yeah. Any more questions that I missed? For planning sake, what average cost per day? Yeah, planning sake, we are looking at 100 euros a day. If you are looking at 100 or 105 euros per day, I'd say. If you put the discount, it will be a bit less than that. But yeah, that's for your accommodation in 2 or 3-star accommodation, luggage transfer. We book no meals. If you're on your own, no meals, no dinner, so that you can go with the people you've met during the day. If you are in groups or in small groups even, usually the dinner at your accommodation, except the first night and the last night. We don't like to book dinners on the first night and the last night because you're in bigger cities. And because if you're in Santiago, I do not want you to be stuck in your hotel for that dinner. I want you to go to Rua do Franco to discover the streets and to chat the other pilgrims you have met along the way. Okay? Now, if you want dinner first night and last night, we can organize it. But as default, remember that every time we plan for you, it's not for cost. It's not for, we have no interest in you having dinner or not. It's more for you to have a great experience. What I want is that at the end you say, yeah, I had this experience when I met other people. I had this experience when I had the typical food. This is what we're trying to get. So usually in our packages, we have a mix of accommodation with some guest houses, for example. We don't go always by star. Sometimes we prefer a smaller star level, but a friendlier accommodation, a better food, okay? We do things like this. Thank you very much. 2024, Lisa. See you then. I'm reading the comments. My eyes are flicking a bit. Yes, there are cashiers in every single village. Yeah. It's yes. You can get cashier at the post office or banks. Yeah. Ursula, yeah, that's great. To spend one night at Horizon, yeah. Flo, we can book Horizon for you. Yes, we were able to do that. We are the only operator, I think, that can do that because we have a good relationship with them. Yes, Sandra. So all rooms with us, when you are in comfort level, it's a private room. Okay, it's a single room or double room depending on the number. The only time we share rooms is for hostel. We can do some hostel bookings for very low budget, and this we will use obviously hostel rooms. Suzanne B, thank you very much. René, Robert, so the presentation is recorded and we can share it. We have some similar guys. If you're looking for information, come to our website. Either the product pages, go to French Way, Saria, type a keyword, go to the blog. We've got some great blog that my team is writing and so on for you. Or go onto our YouTube channel where we have more presentation about kit in more details, where we are with loads of kit and so on. But we'll share you the link and we'll share it with your wife. Yeah. If you want as well, what we do is you can book an appointment with one of our consultants. Okay, so you engage with our Camino consultant, and they have a little link in their signature, and you can just check when they're available, and we book a half-an-hour consultation. Thank you, Patty. Yeah, start planning. It's now. Usually, take it that it takes a good month or two to plan, because at first you have something in mind, and then we'll send you one itinerary, and then you'll do some research, or you talk to your friends. Do you think we should have an extra night? Do you think we should upgrade? I don't know. You decide, but we'll tell you what is possible or not. And whenever you're ready, we make the changes and so on. And whenever you're ready, you can book. Yeah, Mary, enjoy the retirement. Maureen, thank you very much. Yes, but when you have a one-to-one, we'll get you to know more here. I'm going around all the questions. But really, don't worry, the Camino is safe. It's brilliant. We organize great trips. You will enjoy it, okay? You will enjoy it. I will stay here for another minute and see if there is any other question. Other than that, thank you very much all for attending. I'll let you go back to your daily life and so on. And it was great to see you. It's lovely to see you. And we look forward to planning your Camino. And thank you again. For vegetarian food, Mary, in Spain, they are not great on vegetarian options, actually. When I say they're not great is if you ask for a salad, you may find tuna on your salad. This is how vegetarian friendly they are, but they're getting better. So that's that. In smaller places in the middle of your day, you might not have that much choice, but usually a salad, and just ask without tuna or something like this. And usually on the menu, they tell you what there is in the salad: onions, lettuce, etc. All right. Well, if there is no more question, I'm going to leave the meeting. And thank you again for attending our Follow the Camino presentation, and look forward to organizing your trip. Bye-bye.